Mike was Mike was okay. Um, did you know that uh uh I don't know. Yeah. I should I should add a tag for my streams, something like dumbass or something. I swear to God. Man, okay. Very perfect. Yes. It's black. Game we're playing today is black. It's just a black screen. Surprise! It's a new popular game. Where you just stare at the black screen. It's people find it very entertaining because you can sometimes it feels like you see something in the dark. Supposedly there's never anything there, but you know, your mind plays tricks on you. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing behind this game, right? That all right, what is happening? Why is it black? Do I need to restart the game? I think I do. God damn it. Okay, hold on. Okay, 1 sec. Waiting. Starting. Still waiting. Ah, there we go. Let's see. They're gonna work now? Bro. You just compiled them. There we go. Jesus. Thought there was gonna be no Apex today. Hold on. Just check. Okay. Let's see. I might try some solos, but not yet. Not yet. Les poissons. Oh oui. Je suis un poisson. C'est très bien. No way, I'm remembering words in French. How's that possible? Just lurking like a rat. Okay, I think I need to change my background music because I need something that will wake me up a bit. Let's try this. It usually works. Ash. Okay. Royale with Chi. Hot and singles in your area? Where? Go to loadout right there. Where's this person? It was a rave. Is that the hot singles in my area? It is. No, they're running away. Oh fuck. Goddamn wrist. Now watch this, watch this. That's a nade! Why did that nade took so long to explode? Jesus. I was actually waiting for it to explode so that it would push me back. But it took so long to explode that I had lost too much health and it killed me. What do we have? A wingman? Sure. Goated loadout right here. Someone's running. Oh, my aim feels so weird right now. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. I need to warm up. Oh, that's a whole new person. Like how that kill cam looks so different from what actually happened. When they killed me, I was still shooting at the other person, but I don't know, it must be some weird kill cam bug, something. Get me in there. The hell? Get me out of here. Oh, teammate. I already have my ult again? What? I felt like my aim had fucking magnets there. What was that? Hey. Oh. Oh shit. Alright. GG's, Wait, what is that? What does it say? Score regener- oh, 1 a sec. Like 1 score a second, I say. Wait, what's this? Can use that, that's right. It is Kraber time. Oh shit. We good? Just in case. Oh! Protect me. Watch this, watch this. Never mind. Oh. What is happening? Okay. Yes. The amazing hot singles in my area is getting all the kills. Oh man. Man, how hard can it be to get a Kraber kill? Right? How hard could it be? Imagine. Oh hey. Man! What the fuck? Oh shit. God. Chill. I don't know what has been happening lately, because I've been so fucking low on energy. I hate it. Why? Why is this a thing right now? Why have I been feeling like this for the past days? I hate it. I don't know why. Oh god. Somebody stop this. Wait, was this shield empty? Hmm. The Kraber. Oh my god. Oh my god. Get the fuck out of there. Oh my god, everyone's taking it. Oh my god. Oh my, why am I out of ammo and everything? My weapon was reloaded, I would have gotten that. Yong. Oh my god. Get me out of here. Oh my god. Golden Ornine. Beautiful. Oh my god. Bruh. Man. Oh Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Jesus Christ. Look at that damage. Jesus. Way too much. Is the Havoc still here? No. Already? Not so short.
You are the Apex champions.
Zipline similar. Chat, what do I do? How does one fuck, oh my god, 23 kills. Oh crazy. How does one regain energy? I've been sleeping enough. Drinking water. I've been eating enough. I've even sometimes been outside, getting some sun, so like, what am I missing? What the fuck? Man. I don't get it. I am going to commit great crime. I am going to bust nut. Oh boy. Nice. Nice. Would like to see. Is there one more? Yep. And I'm out of here. Oh my god, what the fuck? Where are my teammates? Man, I went into the middle, I think. Not even that. Oh shit. Man. Why is everyone playing so passive in this? What the hell? Oh, I should not have done that. What?
Need to recharge my shields.
On the other side. Yong. Jesus Christ. Almost killed me. Oh. I'm coming. I'm hopping. Oh. Come on. I'm gonna destroy that thing. No! I did need to do that. Damn it. Oh, I see you. Oh, there's way too many.
Void jumping. Need to recharge my shield.
Oh. What the fuck? Jesus. Is that the is that person fucking level 2000? Christ, dude. Just notice. I'm just tickling people. There we go.
Need to recharge my shields.
Oh shit. All my life.
Need to recharge my shields.
Great. I'm out of here. Oh.
Need to recharge my shields.
Oh. Oh, that's an enemy. My teammate was like behind them but far away, so it kind of looked like my teammate's name above them for a sec. Teammate, hello, help me please. I think they get the kill. Yeah, nice. Jump in there. Oh. Yeah, these things are fucking insane. Ooh. Get him. Get him. Oh. Oh god.
Recharging my shields.
Ooh. Get him. Get him, he's British. In a touch.
You are the Apex champions.
Oh my god. Excuse me. My dog walked in again and burped. What was the reason here? What? We got a prophet in the team. Oof. Bruh. Oh my god, he's one. Ooh.
Recharging my shields.
Oh god. Oh my god. What a nade. Bruh. I don't know why I did that.
Need to recharge my shields.
Whoa, hey, chill. Right. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. You're good? No, we're not. Get out of here. Ooh. Good, good. Oh. Come back. Oh. Oh my god. Oh, hello. The fuck? And I was in there. I was in the void. If you check, I was like in there for a split second. Oh my god. Ooh. Shit, wait. Take this away. Take, fuck it. Alright. How big are those shots? Let me do what I was trying to do. Drop this. There we go. Hey! Rude.
Need to recharge my shields.
Fuck. Oh my god.
Need to recharge my shields.
I can hit stuff. I promise. Christ.
Need to recharge my shields.
What is happening in there? Pretty good. Ooh. Oh my god. I'm trying, I'm helping. Oh. He's one.
Need to recharge my shields.
Somebody get him. Feels bad, man. There's no way. This gun sucks. It leaves everyone at 1 HP and doesn't kill them. Man. Somebody give me a sentinel. Sentinel? Man. Yeah, I had a homemade pizza for dinner. I didn't eat all of it, there's still like 3 slices left, because I wasn't hungry enough for the rest, but oh, I'm definitely gonna eat the rest later. Okay.
You are the
Okay.
Apex champion.
I'll try a solo zone now. Stay hydrated. That's what I'm saying. uh. Oh. It was showing the same place where I just had that team deathmatch. I was like, wait, did it go into team deathmatch again? But it does say solos. I'm gonna need the music a bit quieter for this. Yeah. I don't know if you guys can even hear it, but it's very quiet for me. It's there, if you listen close enough. You just... There's no way. This is the second time this happens. Last time I streamed this game, my teammate, my previous teammate from fucking Mixtape, was a champion, and now the same shit happened. There's no way.
Attention. Delivering
What?
replicator.
I'm gonna go over there.
Replicator dropping.
What the fuck? That is crazy. I have the company of one person, it seems. Friends?
Target landed near me. Bold move. And fatal.
Beginning ring countdown.
Perfect. I'm inside the next ring.
Oh hey.
I'm under fire. These ties bind.
Did not know he was up there. Let's just make sure I'm full health. Let's go this way.
Evo harvesters are now available.
Get the high ground. We love the high ground. Oh my god, did not mean to do that. Jesus Christ. Fucking... Give myself a heart attack. Where'd he go? Oh, that's someone else?
Perfect. I'm inside the next ring.
Oh, fighting. Also, yep, confirmation that that is someone else.
One less
Thank you.
enemy. I've leveled up. Time to perfect a skill.
Yes.
I've elevated my skills.
My skills. Lovely. Hmm. Oh.
Enemy shield cracked.
Alright.
One less enemy.
P20, baby. I would like an R9 instead, just because that's more fun to use. But then didn't get to upgrade this. Aha. Whoa, hey! What the fuck? Where did you come from? I just heard them climbing something out of nowhere. Boom! Surprise. An ash. What the fuck? Alright.
An enemy landed near me.
Huh?
Final mistake. Enemy shield cracked.
Almost got me.
One less enemy.
Round 2. Beginning ring countdown.
Okay.
Stocking complete.
Anyway. Gonna upgrade my R9.
Replicator being delivered.
Replicator dropping.
Let's use this. I'm not really gonna travel far, I guess. I'm just gonna... That. Oh shit. That's the ash that killed me. Come to me.
Target landed.
That was a dumb move, not gonna lie.
Enemy shield cracked. I'm inside the next ring. Now to plan my next steps. Taking fire.
What the fuck? Not again!
Less enemy.
Where the fuck did you come from? Brother,
Bound by my hand.
where are these people coming from? What is happening? And it's an ash again.
Care package being delivered.
Do ashes not have footsteps or something? Like what? Bruh. Boy. Dude, this phone. Christ.
And your enemies under your blade.
It was getting worse by the second. I know I could do like a
Introducing your
factory reset. Well, that should help to make it faster. But it's so much work. Just to you know, save the stuff you want to save and then to install everything all over again. That's just, there's so much work in that. Right, I don't want to go through all that, you know?
Replicator incoming.
Having to log in into everything again. Oh my god. The pain. Wah. One person. You and me, buddy. Oh. The door's over here. See you.
I'm inside the next ring. Now to plan.
You better hide.
Steps.
Where'd he go? Uh-huh.
Enemy shield cracked.
Better run.
Let's put you in a bind.
Attention.
Oh.
Thermite out.
Harvesters are online.
Delivering thermite. Taking fire.
Okay.
One less enemy.
One last little bugger. Eh. Just load a bit. Okay, hold on. Can get the weapon I want.
Inside the next ring. Now to plan my next steps.
Yes. Not sure if I want to keep the scout. I don't know. Think I'd rather have a sentinel. Or maybe a triple take. Where's it? Oh yeah. Oh, there's the door. Person I killed did not land here. Could see a lot of people over here though. Oh, hello.
These bombs. I'm under fire.
And I'm already dead.
Tearing through reality.
Chill.
Let's put you in a bind. Taking fire. I've leveled up.
Man,
Time to
who's that?
perfect skill. An
Who's shooting me?
shields are depleted. Recharging.
Countdown. Looping restocking complete.
This will bind them.
Who's shooting me?
Attention. Delivering replicator.
Replicator incoming. Taking fire. I shattered an enemy's shield. Arc star out. These bonds aren't easily broken. Recharging shields.
God.
Enemy
Who?
shield cracked. These ties bind.
Don't run away from me, boy. There's someone else! Oh, he's far away.
Enemy. I'm under fire.
No, wait. Okay.
Enemy shield cracked.
Oh my god. No, he's up here. Solo. And it's another Ash. Why am I always getting sneaked up by Ashes? You know, I'm just gonna go over here. Fuck that. There's gonna be someone right here, look.
Target landed near me.
Okay.
Bold move. Unfatal.
Delivering care package. Champion eliminated.
Where though? Who's near me?
Target landed near me.
Oh.
Bold move. And fatal. Bound by my hand.
Oh.
Not so fast. Time to bind you. This will bind them. I'm inside the next grenade. An enemy landed near me. They're fine. I'm under fire. I shattered an enemy's shield. Replicator dropped.
Okay.
Enemy killed.
Wait, I need that. Whoa, what was that turn?
Enemy killed.
Christ. We're good. I don't really have a long range, but
Inside the next ring.
should be fine.
Shot connected.
Whoa. Empty enthusiast. Let's go. I have so many souls. Oh my god. Bruh. Come here. Look. Let me. That is someone else. Wait. Woo.
Allowing themselves to be caught. I shattered an enemy's shield. Excellent. I am at max level. I have sharpened my skills.
Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Shields are depleted. Recharging.
Make me look so bad. Listen, requires a lot of training.
An enemy landed near me. They're unrealistic. I'm under fire. Bound by my
Oh my god.
enemy shield.
We're slaying.
Shields are depleted. Recharging.
What the?
Enemy shield cracked.
Come here. Fuck it. Come here. Give me.
You could not keep up with me.
What the fuck?
Recharging shields.
What was that? Oh my god. Okay, two left. I see one.
Not so fast. Time to bind you.
What if I just
Put you in a bind.
go super aggressive? I don't know how I'm doing this right now. I usually do not play this good. Something awoke inside me today. And I don't know what I'm good on loot. I don't need to risk going down there.
Beginning ring countdown.
Don't fall. Oh, oh. You missed. Where are you? What? Huh? Oh, I see you.
Time to bind you. Pitiful, allowing themselves to be caught. Throwing frag. Fire. Enemy shield cracked. Perfect.
We friends?
Inside the next ring.
We friends? He just came up.
I'm under fire.
Honestly, I don't get, it's okay. I'll give him that win. He came up so fast, like, fuck this shit.
This is your champion.
It was not having a good day. That person deserved that win. Oh my god. Oh, okay, I didn't even notice the message where you said you're on PS5. Yeah, that's an issue. I used to play this game on PS4. Like the first year it was out, maybe I think like year and a half. I played on console. Because I had some internet issues which wouldn't allow me to play this game properly on PC. On my little laptop at the time. Because after every single match, I would be disconnected and then I would have to wait like 10 minutes to be able to reconnect again to the servers. It was a really weird specific issue that later I would find out that it was a problem with my router. I only found that out because when we switched internet to a faster one and they changed our router, the problem was no longer there, so yeah. It was just that router that fucking sucked, which it just sucks because I only had issues with this game. It was the only game that I had issues with.
Had a job to do.
No other game. But yeah, for the first like year and a half I did play on PS4. And then I switched to PC. I would sometimes try to play a little bit on PC so that at least I could get kind of used to how the game is on PC.
An enemy
But it was not that much.
no mistake.
I see you, buddy.
Enemy shield cracked. These ties bind. One less enemy.
I don't have ammo. Oh, that is very unlucky.
Enemy shield cracked.
Imagine if I... Oh! I keep missing. Oh, fuck. I kept missing too.
Death box there.
I'm coming for my revenge. Good. Hello.
Target landed near me. Bold move. At sea. Bound by my
Oh, now you're scared.
shield cracked. I have leveled up. Now,
Let me be free. What the fuck? It's the ballistic. Man. I don't care. Wait, I've seen this person before, I think. Huh. Welcome back. Hold on, let me put a little reminder so I don't forget to flip that previous match. A reminder to myself. It's actually crazy if you if you go to the beginning of this stream, which I mean, how long have I been streaming for? Maybe like an hour? Yeah, an hour. If you if you check the little mixtape matches that I was doing, I was playing fucking terribly. If you compare that to how I'm playing now, it's gonna be like, who the this is not the same person. I was missing everything. I just warm-ups are important, I guess. I don't know.
Silence it.
This is your champion.
What? 194 centimeters. Wait, what was the last measurement? Huh? Let's play Octane and Alter. Yeah, those are two good ones. Fuck it.
Replicator dropping.
I used to play a lot of Pathfinder and Octane when I still played on PlayStation. Oh, I'm going against an Apex Predator. No, wait, two people actually. Yeah, I'm fucked. I'm already fucked. I thought the door was on that side. God damn it. The side where I landed.
Deathbox there.
Anyway. What? Gonna land right here?
I'm inside the next ring.
No, no, that's a person. Oh, fuck.
Target landed
Oh,
near me.
fuck.
Bold move. And fatal.
Hey, yo, chill.
Not so fast. Time to I'm under fire. I leveled up. I should select. Target landed near me.
Oh,
Bold move. And fatal.
Sentinel.
Sharpened my skills.
Yes.
Evo harvesters are now available.
I do want... Yeah, sure, this will do. Wanted a different weapon. That's not a... Hemlock. Oh my god, who are you?
Enemy shield cracked. One less enemy. They will be bound.
Ah!
I'm under fire. These bonds aren't easily broken. I'm inside the next ring. Enemy shield cracked. Target landed near me.
Man!
Bold move. And fatal. One.
Let me be free! Should I get it back to my PC? I mean, sure. If you're up to learning how to play with a keyboard and mouse, I guess. Or if you already know how to. It is quite a different experience compared to a controller. I gotta say. Also, the lobbies are quite different. I remember when I still played on PlayStation, and if I had a teammate on my team that was, you know, on PC, and then whenever I would go against PC players, and I was getting shot at from someone that was far away from me, I pretty much had no chance to hit them. Like, it was on PC, it's a lot easier to hit people that are far away. It's a lot easier to control recoil. I mean, it's still tough, but compared to controller, it's a lot easier. I guess the one advantage that controllers have always had is up close because of aim assist. But that's pretty much the only advantage that controllers have, honestly. It's just the close-up battles with aim assist. That's, I think, the only advantage it has. Then keyboard and mouse is like you can turn a lot quicker, or pretty much as quick as you can, depending on what sensitivity you feel comfortable with.
Replicator incoming.
I don't know, fucking movement stuff. It's easier to do, you got more movement options too.
Target landed near me.
Oh shit! Wingman. MP20? Hold on. We are cooking, boy.
Attention. First blood.
Oh my god, what? I thought you were inside. What the fuck? Yeah, controller cannot really tap strafe. You don't got a scroll wheel. So far away.
Round 1. Beginning ring countdown.
And honestly, I thought something like tap strafing would be a tough thing to do, to pull off. But it's actually very easy. Just bind your forward, just like have the mouse wheel, when you scroll it forward, move you forward.
These ties
And
bind.
yeah.
Attention.
Oh, that's,
Monsters are online.
man. Man. You know what? I'll take that I'll take that L. It's a Mirage. I can't be mad at a Mirage. Kind of funny. See, yeah, see, you just said It's just agree with me. The timing.
Warning. Ring closing.
My playlist ended. Bruh. Start playing. Stop playing that shit. So quiet. Okay. Water time.
Cleave through weakness. And the weak.
This is your champion.
I can see all of you in the rearview mirror.
On my back. Oh, man.
Replicator dropping.
Oh boy. You know what? I'm gonna let you.
Landed near me. Their final mistake.
Okay.
Attention. First blood.
Ooh.
Found by my hand. Grenade.
Come here.
Round 1. Beginning ring countdown.
Not so fast. Time to bind you.
See someone.
Party landed near me.
What the fuck? Help, I'm bad.
Focus on the plan.
I don't have the thing. Oh, it just got saved.
Recharging shields. Not so fast. Caught with no way out. An enemy landed near me. Their final mistake. Enemy shield.
Aha. Where am I?
Enemy killed.
Eh.
I have leveled up.
Eh.
Now, which skill to hone? I've elevated my skills. I
What's
shattered
that?
an enemy's shield. Recharging shields. Bound by my hand.
Where's the shield?
Enemy killed.
Right. Box.
Time to bind you.
You better run.
Let's put you in a bind.
Out of zone.
Enemy shield cracked.
The zone.
Less enemy.
Oh, fuck that.
Tearing away.
Somebody gonna take it?
Not so fast. Time to bind you. Caught.
Yep.
Like a rat in it. I'm under fire.
Oh, you got me.
Shields are depleted. Recharging.
Why do you have one of those, mister? Devotion. Is that a gold devotion? My god.
Replicator incoming.
Okay, hopefully there's no one here. I can chill for a sec. Maybe find an R9. Oh. I mean, I will not say no to that. I still would rather have an R9. Nothing. Man.
Perfect. I'm inside the next ring.
I was hoping I could find one to, like, at least a blue one to upgrade it here in this light weapon arsenal. But oh well. Guess I'll just get one. I have too much ammo. Jesus.
Care package being delivered.
Wait. Oh god, the zone. Quick. I don't know how much damage it does, but I would assume it's higher than usual. Somebody fighting? Uh-huh. Yep, yep. What the fuck?
I'm under fire.
What? Why though?
Completed. Recharging. I
Hello?
have 30 seconds. Plenty. Replicator dropping.
Where'd he go? Oh.
I have reached the maximum level. Acceptable. An upgrade has been selected. Let's cart with no way out. Caught like a rat. Enemy taking fire.
Okay.
One less enemy. Recharging shields.
Guess I'll go this way. Oh, I got it quick. Go. The matchmaking for solo seems definitely different than normal. It feels like there's a whole mix of people here. It's not just people that match your skill level or something like that. It feels like it's all kinds of players. Both low level and high level.
Additional supplies.
In the middle too. Oh. I see you.
Found by my hand. Caught like a rat in a trap. Found by my hand. I'm under fire. I shattered an enemy's shield.
Can see you.
Enemy shield cracked. One less enemy.
It's so unfair to be able to see people like that. I don't know if he could see me like that or not. But if not, that's pretty unfair for him. Three people left. How much you want to bet this one? Oh,
Spring. Now to plan my next steps.
I'm gonna go right there.
Tearing through
That is not where I wanted to go. I just went past someone.
finding them. These bonds aren't easily broken.
Hmm.
I'm under fire.
Oh my god. Oh. Ah.
Caught. Taking fire.
Oh, I got surrounded. Man. Alright. I want some teammates. This solos is too stressful. Chicken. Oh. Hold on. I've been using this skin since forever and I finally... Wait. What's the skin? Right, okay. Is it bugged? It's not here. Bruh. I'll mess him up. Well, I guess I don't deserve the skin, I guess. Man. I gotta turn my fan towards me. It's getting a bit warm. Hold on. I mean, I say this while I could just take off this hoodie that I have on for whatever reason. I mean, okay, it's not for whatever reason. Hoodies are nice.
The games are anything but random, if your eyes are open. Need something? I'm sure we can come to an agreement.
Mm.
True mastery can't be programmed.
Yeah. So, you know, sometimes when I watch some videos, I usually watch this channel called Nexpo. Oh, when I watch videos on stream, by the way, that's what I mean. Usually I go with a channel called Nexpo, right? What the fuck was that? Anyway. I completely forgot about this other channel that I used to watch, called Mr. Ballin. He tells spooky stories in a pretty entertaining way. Well, it's nothing crazy, it's just that it's the way he tells the stories. It's very, I don't know, I like it. Oh, hold on. I do not want to leave this teammate alone. Coming!
First blood. Let us begin. These bugs caught with no way out. Shield cracked.
I'm stuck. What was that? Why did I start? No, the fucking finisher. I did not mean to start finishing it. I was like, well, what was that? White flash. Just trying to open the door. Oh shit. Teammate disconnected.
Enemy spotted. Way out there, like little cucarachas.
I cannot requeue for whatever reason.
Harvesters are online.
Okay. I might play something else. Oh, wait, did I? Okay, now I got the things. There we go. Okay. I think I know what I'm gonna play. I've been saying that I was gonna play this one day on stream, and I never got around to do it. But I think it's time. Yes. Oh boy. It's dino time. I know the dino park. Kinda dino time. It is a different dino game. Hopefully, last time I tried to play this game on stream, it lagged a lot. It didn't go too well. But hopefully, since I have this model now, Hopefully it'll be good. Here we go. Let's see. Ooh. People still play this game? I wonder. I mean, I did check on Twitch and it said that this category had like 700 something viewers, so it's not bad. For some reason it's taking a while to find servers. Oh jeez, there we go. Didn't I have... I don't know if they have reset the servers, but... on one of these Europe ones... Oh, there we go, it's this one. Yeah, I already have a... already have a boy on one of these. Little Cardinal. Glad that it's saved. It's literally been like months since I played this. Hopefully it will not lag too much. It's kind of lagging now because we're loading, but hopefully it'll get better. Okay. How's the model doing? Yeah, I mean, we're still loading, so maybe... Oh, okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good enough. Nice. Okay, if it stays like this, then that's good. I think I'll move my model to the left, because I'm blocking like pretty much the only UI you have in this game. So let me do that. Hold on. Move myself over here. Okay. Good. Now just make sure I'm gonna leave this like that. Okay. Oh boy. I'm pretty sure last time I played this it was on stream. Before I found out that I couldn't stream this game at the time. Let's see. I didn't even check how many players were. 82, okay. Oh boy. Now we gotta smell for food. I'm in some kind of area. Ooh. Ooh. Oh boy. There's nothing around. Hear people in the distance. Oh boy. Oh. You are the Carnos. Didn't really want to team up with anyone right now. Oh, there we go. That's the sound of food. Wait for it. Wait for it. Jeez, the sound of the menu, so loud. It's me. Why is it not making noise anymore? Oh. Okay. What is up with that? Can I scare these guys away? I just went like... Nope, guess not. Annoying ass motherfuckers. Oh. Yup, I hear it, but I'm hunting a moving taco right now. There it is. Little shit. Aha. That barely gave me anything. What the fuck? Well, that's... Man. That's unfortunate. I need bigger creatures like maybe a boar or a deer. God damn little shits. I'm gonna close it just to be sure. Yeah, good enough. So that we know if something goes through here. Something I have to worry about. How big I am. God damn. Looks pretty here too. My graphics at, I think. Oh, the light just turned off. I think my graphics are quite low, right? Medium. I just hear stomping. There's a corner there. Hello, little buddy. Is that a frog? What? Okay, I just ate a frog. How much did that give me? I don't even know because I didn't check how much I had. Little Carno ran away from me. Honestly, good. Not that I was gonna kill him, but oh, there he is. What is that? What are you eating? I think that's just a taco, so not interested. What about there apparently? What is it? How do I go down here without breaking my leg? Oh, look at this. Dino parkour. Oh! Oh! Okay, let's see. What was I smelling? Over this way. Nope. Oh god. What the hell? Is it carrying meat? What the fuck? It was carrying a bird. What? Okay. Interesting. Oh, is that a pig? Oh, oh. Come here. One shot, goddamn. Pig's running away from me. Okay, now this is feeding me properly. Nice. Very nice. Guess I'll just keep hunting things for now. This way? Oh my god, the sun. Eh. Oh, hello. What are you carrying? Nothing? Swallow that little shit. 69%. I need... okay. Try to look for some water. Oh boy. It's a very chill game, I promise. Yeah, there's just absolutely no use in me turning off night vision, because look, it's just so much darker without night vision, and with night vision, you can see everything. Honestly, they should just make this what it looks like normally. I know it's probably, I don't know, would it be realistic? 'Cause I feel like this is a bit too dark. If it's all sunny, I don't know, I might be wrong. I might just be wrong. Or maybe something in between this and without. Because it makes it so you just never turn off night vision. Unless maybe you're in an open field. Or in the forest, yeah, keep that shit on. Oh. Water. boy. Really? Why? You're so much smaller than me, bro. Come on, man. What were you thinking? Bruh. I'm not gonna eat him because that is cannibalism and that's not good for you. So you just became a free meal for someone else. Come on, man. I don't know what made him think that he had a chance, but yeah. Let me just bite this person that's actually the same creature as me, but it's like 3 times my size. I'm totally gonna win this. No. Just make sure I start healing. If not, that just makes me anxious. Seeing that little bleedling there. There we go. Moving on. 87% growth. We're almost fully big boy. Honestly, I should have just moved away from him. It would be like, just type in the chat like, bruh, for real? Like, are you sure? Are you sure about this? Go home and think twice about your decisions. I haven't really played the game much ever since they came out with this map, but I don't know, from what I've seen, it feels better than the other one, the previous one. But I don't know. Still doesn't really feel like it's up to par with the ones from Legacy. Because you could argue that... Like, okay, here's the issue. It seems like they want to go for a more realistic type shit. But like... a game like this... it's just, I don't know. It doesn't really work. You can't really just go for something that looks realistic. Like a map design is just... I don't know. My favorite map that I've played in this game still stands as one that doesn't even exist anymore. You cannot play on it. But it was this custom map. Like when this game still had workshop support a long time ago. For some goddamn reason they just never added that back. I still remember this server called Pangea. And they had their own map. And it was like this very compact map. Like it was a mix of different environments, very compact. But honestly, it was just cool. how it had like really different environments. So you had a desert, a fucking snow island, swamp, plains. It's just, it had like everything. It wasn't that big. It was probably definitely smaller than, for example, this map. But it was just cool. All the different environments. Remember that eventually I think they kind of lost that map and they made another custom one that was actually pretty cool too. It wasn't as good as the previous one, I think, but it was cool as well. And again, it was unique to that server. Yeah, I think after that one they made yet another map. That, if I remember correctly, if it was from that server, if I remember correctly, it wasn't as good. It was definitely the worst that they had made. And I think that's also when the server kind of started dying, because honestly, map just sucked compared to the previous ones they had made. It would be really cool if one day I could play on that map again if they brought it back. It would be insanely cool. I really doubt that will happen though. It's funny because that second map I was talking about, is that a floating tree? What the fuck? I don't know, I don't think it's there anymore, but there was a screenshot I took on that map that got put on the fucking official Steam page of the game. Which is crazy, because like they took that screenshot and told me nothing. They just took that screenshot that was mine and put it on the fucking official Steam page of the game and didn't tell me anything. I just happened to check the Steam page for whatever reason and noticed that my own fucking screenshot was there. It's like, what are these fucking bastards? I mean, cool that they use my screenshot, but at the same time, like, could at least told me. Like, hey, we liked your screenshot and we used it in the Steam page, something like that. No, nothing. Didn't tell me anything. Man. Yeah, those are definitely floating trees. Ahem. I don't think that's natural. Also, here's the other issue with these really big maps that they do. Like, usually you can get up to 100 players in a match. Or in a server, I guess. It's not really called as a match. Right now there's 70, but even if it was full, it's usually still hard to come across people. Because they just make the maps too big. Also, I'm pretty sure this new version of the game, I don't know, they've been working on it for, I'm pretty sure, at least like 5-6 years. Oh, what's this? Okay, here's the thing. They have literally promised playable humans for I've been playing this game since 2017 and it has been out longer than that, but let's go with 2017 at least. So that's 3, 5, 6, 7. That's at least 8 years, almost a goddamn decade that they've said, yeah, humans are gonna be like the other big part of this game, not just dinosaurs. Yeah, almost a full decade later. Where are the humans? Like, it's been, I used to defend the devs and be like, no, you know, stuff takes time. And they want to make sure stuff is like up to quality and everything. But bro, it's been quite a while ever since I've been like, no, I cannot defend these devs anymore. I mean, not only did they absolutely make a really shitty decision when they pulled this game from Steam Workshop. The least they could have done is brought it back by now, which I keep saying it would really help this game to let people mod the game. It would help it so much. For me, that was the golden age of this game when it was on the Steam Workshop. But yeah, it's just, there's that. There's also just the huge amount of time that it takes for them to release anything. I don't know. I really cannot defend these devs anymore. The thing is, they've showed that they can make good stuff. I mean, for example, the animations in the game, they're good. The models, they're highly detailed. The sounds, they're good. The maps, not so much. But it's just, honestly, the West is just kind of eh. The UI is very minimalistic. I mean, there's this. There's also this mutations thing, which is just honestly atrocious. Christ, like, what is this? To see what I have equipped, I have to hover over it and read. I could have at least done some kind of icon. I don't know, this one here isn't bad, I guess. I still think the previous UI that we had before this one, honestly, in a way was better. It definitely looks old, but they could have at least grabbed it and made it look better. But instead they just completely discarded it and just made something very minimalistic, which is just, that's not the way to go, man. That. Let me make some noise and see if anybody responds. I'm so loud now. Nothing? No one? Man. So another thing, they showed a creature, they showed a Spinosaurus in this new version before it came out. And it looked pretty good. The model looked really good compared to the old one. You can still play the old version of this game. It has more dinosaurs, but has, I guess, less quality. The animations are not as fluid, and you know, it doesn't have some gameplay little functions, whatever you want to call it. But I feel like there's more people playing the old version of the game. First of all, you got more map options, and honestly, better maps. In this version, there's only one map, this one, which is just kind of shit. It's a little bit better than the previous one, but it's still not that great. It just lacks so much creativity. You know, okay, you know, actually, what the main issue is whenever I play this game, I cannot help myself but just complain. I'm pretty sure every time I've streamed this game, which was not a lot of times, I've complained every single time about how disappointed I am with the game. What's that? The fuck was that noise? Just random noise. Oh yeah, I was also saying the Spinosaurus that they showed like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. They showed in a trailer. It was animated. I guess not fully, but it was animated. It had sounds. But guess what? After all this time, it's still not here. We don't have it. It's that, and they've showed the new T-Rex so many times for literally years now, and we still don't have that yet. Okay, that is definitely something. What the fuck? What is that? Can I go up here? Here's. No idea what that was. Just gonna chill right here. So the stamina, it takes so damn long to recover. I'm pretty sure they changed that to make it take longer. For whatever reason. I really cannot play this game. Because I just start complaining all the damn time. Hello? It's coming from there, right? What do you do in this game? Such chill as a dino? Well... Besides, from what I was just doing... I don't know, you can... It's an online-only game. And... Well, you can hunt other players if you like. There's also AI. The whole point of it is pretty simple, honestly. Just survive, eat, drink, don't die. You can group up with people too. Let's see. Honestly, I would say probably the highlight of this game is when you're in a group and you're maybe like hunting another group. Let's say carnivores hunting a group of herbivores. Stuff like that is, I would say, is definitely the highlight of this game. Being either the ones hunting or the ones being hunted, it's pretty exciting. But Unfortunately, the game does have a lot of these dull moments where you're not really doing anything. Either sitting down because you need to regenerate your stamina, or just walking like I am right now. I guess it does have its moments though. Kind of basic. Yeah. Oh wait, I do smell something. You know what this game needs? This game needs some actual competition. There's a few games that are similar to it, like Path of Titans and Beast of Bermuda, for example. But they just... I think they're different enough that it doesn't present really a competition to this game. And I wish there was a game that stood up to this one. To give it competition, to give the developers actual incentive. Oh shit, there's someone. To just make something better, you know? Wonder how many of those... I'm pretty much full grown, 98%. I am quite hungry too. Okay, we might see something happening in a sec, actually. Depending how many people... Oh. Thank you, thank you. Okay, one sec. See if these people are nice or not. Oh, raptors too, okay. You know, lucky for you, I'm a connoisseur of this game. Totally do not have like 1,000 something hours in this. Oh, you just heard a raptor. We've been hearing Dilophosaurus as well. I am bigger than those two. And than those two, but I am alone. So even though I'm stronger, if they're in a pack, they'll definitely hunt me down. What is this? There's a food here that my creature liked. What is that? Trying not to run too much so I don't waste stamina, because stamina takes quite a while to regenerate in this game. Depending on the creature. This creature does take a while to regenerate stamina. Which, by the way, it's a Carno. Carnotaurus. What are you? Is that a packy? Oh, bloody. Someone? No, it's just my footsteps, okay. My little footsteps sounded like there was someone behind me. That's another thing, when you're eating or drinking, you can't really look behind you. It's a bit spooky. Okay, well there goes that. Now where was this raptor I was hearing? Hello? Little raptor. I have a little thing I can equip a new perk. I need to find a somewhere where I can, since I'm now full grown. Hold on. Hopefully I'm hit enough over here. Let's see. Oh boy. Okay. I don't know. I think I might go for something that helps my fighting. What are the other things I have? Hold on. I have your food range more slowly and recovers health slightly faster. Okay. Extra bandage on a bleeding turn. That's good. Do more damage to animals with low health. Okay. Oh, it's a deer. We're good. Goddamn deers. Resist or reduce fracture damage. New resistance. Goddamn deers. Stop scaring me. Okay, I'm gonna go either do extra damage to a bleeding target, 5%, or do more damage to animals. I'm gonna go with this because I cause bleeding with every bite that I do, so yeah, that's definitely good. So pretty much a constant 5% bonus damage. It's pretty good. Alright, deer, goat, whatever, what is that? A deer? Or is that a goat? You are a goat. And you are not my food. Too big for me to swallow. Dude. I'm becoming paranoid, I swear to God. Hello? Oh, there's Carnos. Are they fighting the... What's a Carno? He's with the raptor. Hello? They friendly? Okay. Yeah. We full adult. What we got going on? Where you from? Land of Magic? Europe? Fine, fine. What is this? What is this? Little board? There's so many. What is... What the fuck? Infinite food. Wait, which one is the S? Hold on. Let me check my deer. Get a deer. There's not a deer. Is that a deer? No, it's a goat. It's a deer. That's another goat. There we go. All right. So many indeed. There goes the goat. Is there water nearby? Yes. Hey. Well, I guess we don't have to worry about food. Must be some kind of bug where AI keeps spawning there or something. That's always fun. Ooh. Go for Dilo? Okay. You want to? Guess that's something to do. Oh boy. We're hunting dialers now. Oh boy. Yeah, there's so many air around, my god. There's another boar there. There's a something over there. I hear another deer or a goat or whatever. Ooh. Don't want to break my leg. Because you can do that in this game. You fall from high enough. Throw him. Ooh. Oh. They're close. Oh shit. Get him. Can't see him. Where'd he go? Oh shit, he's on him. Get him. Oh no. They both died. Man. He took the raptor out with him. Poor Dilo? What do you mean poor Dilo? Oh, there you go, yeah. I was about to say, like, what do you mean? We were hunting that thing. Oh, honestly, that was pretty smart of the Dilo. Say, if I'm gonna die, I'm taking you with me. Rip. There's another one. Oh, I didn't have my night vision on. Wondering why it was so dark. Look at the body position on that. So that's why they look like it like that in the fossils. You have egg? Wait, what? What is body? Wait, what? Goddamn chickens. Guess I'll take this body. If I can. This is S, right? There's like different nutrients. 3 different nutrients that I'm trying to figure out. You can get different nutrients from different organs. No way that meat is already rotten. What? It's been so little time. Bleh. SB, yeah, whatever that is. Because I don't know this map. I'll just follow them. Where's the other one? Whoa! What? What the fuck? What the hell? Let's go. Follow them, because I don't know where I'm going. And now we're back to chill times. What the? That is not water. That is mud. This is water. Drinking my feet water. So dark. This is shit. My god. This night vision isn't doing much. Oh damn, yeah. It dropped a lot. When I joined there was 80 something. Wait, I see something. Is that a boar? I think it is. Yeah, it's just it's a boar. Pig. What is that? A deer. Sure. Nope. It's all here. But yeah, it is indeed. There's nutrients that you get from different creatures. Basically, the more nutrients you have, the more stat boosts you get. Simple stuff like, better stamina regeneration. I think higher damage too. Hold on, it tells me right here. Better growth rate, but I'm already max growth, so it doesn't really do much. Health regen, stamina regen, blood regen, bleed resist, stuff like that. That's the good stuff. At least, also, I guess a cool thing about the game is you can actually see in the model if it's well fed or if it's starving or something. It's like a gradual thing. It's damn dark. Not sure how long I'm gonna be playing this for though, because it gets boring after a bit. More stuff up ahead. It says we're in a an area. I think it's called like the migration area or something. No idea what that actually means. I don't know if it's the same for everyone or don't know. Don't know what it does or what it means. I think it might have to do more with herbivores. I think there might be something to do with stuff that herbivores eat. Migrating. Yup. I don't know, maybe there's more herbivore food that spawns in these zones and that kinda gives them a reason to migrate to these areas, maybe? I don't know. At least you would expect to see more people in these zones. Oh, you probably noticed too, but you can customize your looks in this game before you spawn in. Customize a bunch of different colors, like underneath, over colors, little details. There's a decent amount of oh fucking what? Oh. Look at that, that's actually the first time I see one of those ever since they came out. Maybe. Yeah, let me just stand up because oh, it's running. These things are definitely tough to fight against though. do a little bit of noise. Oop. Ooh. Gotta be careful, cause bye. Oh, did he? Oh shit! Oh no! Oh no! Mix back. Possibly. I'll distract him. Oh shit! Get away! Oh, still alive. That sucks. He's still alive though. What? Why are they not killing him? Why is the dino not... I don't know what's going on. Oh, just grabbed him again. Is he saving them? Well, I guess they weren't make spiking after all. Full red. Oh. Oh. He's running away. I'm gonna lay down for a bit to recover stamina. First time I see one croc friendly. Yeah. Oh yeah, why are you turning this way, huh? Why are you turning this way? Hey, I have my eye on you. Oh shit. Run. Look at this little shit. Station a herbivore chasing a cardinal. Shit, can I cross safely? I'm gonna trust that the croc is not gonna get me. Cause it spared my friend. I am out of stamina. Oh shit, it died. Fuck. I'm just gonna go this way. Cause I'm not gonna be able to outrun the Diablo if it comes for me. Out of stamina. Oh, it's all the way over there. Oh, there goes my friend. I'm telling you, herbivore players, they're always a lot more aggressive than carnivore players. They hate carnivores. It's like carnivores, they attack herbivores because, well, it's kind of the thing you do as a carnivore, because you need meat. Herbivores, they just fucking... oh, if they get the chance to kill the carnivore, it's like... Get your ass away, I'm gonna kill you, little shit. They just have hate. Carnivores do it for survivability. Well, some. There's others that also just like killing. For sport. But, ooh. Herbivores are just crazy. They're bloodthirsty, man. See if I can spot the little shit. Alright, is it gone? Man. I mean, I never thought we were ever even gonna win against that Diablo. Oh, it's still over there. Because those things, they do a lot of damage. Have you seen those horns? There's not really... I think the only carnivore that can stand a chance against that is those things in the water. Deinosuchus. Because I'm pretty sure... pretty sure all the land carnivores can't really fight one of those unless there's a lot of us against one. Oh, it's actually sitting down. So you can look this way. Like, oh. What's that? Hello, Serrano? Is that the same one? Just pretending like I'm talking to someone. Totally talking to my other Cardinals, yeah. Why are you heading this way? Bro, leave me alone. We're good. I'm not messing with you, buddy. Swear to God. I'm watching you. It's turning this way. I know what you're trying to do. Yeah, see? Bruh. I'm not gonna fight you, because I know I'm not gonna win. It's just hiding in the bush, I know you're there. Telling you, these herbivores, they're full of hate. And vengeance, and just everything. Need to see a therapist, little Diablo. God. I just killed your friend. That's it. I just killed your ancestors. I don't know. Just gonna go check out what this is, and I don't know. We'll see. See if anything happens. And with that, I'm all alone again. And this is a boar. For some reason oh, there we go. Couldn't pick it up. Do not like eating right next to a bush that I don't know if there's anything in there or not. That's another cardinal. Brett. Okay. Give me just a second. Okay. Oh my god. I think I might play something else or do something else. Yeah, hold on. Do this. Time to sleep. Maybe one day I'll play the old version, the legacy version of this game, because honestly it might be more fun than the new one. How many hours do I have in the game? I have 1.5k hours in this goddamn game. Jesus. Two, one. Me. What am I gonna do now? That I do not know. What I'm gonna do is have this music a bit louder. Ah. Playlist's about to end actually. You know what? Let's play some of these. Okay. Time to get copyrighted. Let's go! Change up this. Boom. Maybe I'll go watch some videos now just to relax. I think I've reached a point where I don't feel like playing anything. It's a bit loud, hold on. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Oh yeah, they finally showed gameplay for that marathon game. I saw the gameplay reveal right when it came out today. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I've never really been a fan of extraction shooters. I don't know. I feel like I could enjoy an extraction shooter if it was done right. For me, that is. Because the ones that exist right now, I've tried a couple of them. I didn't enjoy any of them. I don't know. It's just the whole thing about oh god. About just going into somewhere and then just if you die you lose everything and you gotta work all the way up again to the things you had. I think I would enjoy an extraction shooter if it was a bit more casual somehow. Maybe... I don't know. I don't know how one would do that. Maybe... Okay, maybe it could be like this. you had weapons you could unlock, right? And basically, most of what you would do is just collect stuff, go around collecting stuff to earn money, so that you can unlock new stuff. But then once you unlock those things, you just had them, right? That's kind of a basic idea to make it more casual. Although I feel like it could be worked around a bit. I don't know. I'm not a fucking I'm not a goddamn game developer. I don't know. Just throwing ideas around. We'll see. We'll see how this marathon game is when it comes out. Apparently it's gonna come out in September. I'm hoping that it will be a bit more casual compared to other games like it. Because if it isn't, if it is pretty much like the other ones, then I already know I'm most likely not gonna enjoy it. We'll just have to wait and see. Because from the gameplay that they showed, I don't know. What they showed, it didn't really look that much different from other extraction shooters. Honestly. I don't know, nothing seemed that different to me. It just looked like another fresh of paint in the genre. Genre? However you say that word. I'm hoping that if I do get to try it, that it does feel different enough. We'll see. Anyway, let me look up some videos. This time I'm gonna look some Mr. Ballin videos. Usually I would go look for Nexpo videos, but I wanna try this now. Okay, I think I'm gonna try this one. So they're called The Worst Way to Find Out You're Not Alone in the Forest. Ooh. I'm back. Wah. That's a big ass mosquito. I killed it though. And I think I just stole that kill from a spider that's in the corner of my ceiling. Sorry about that. Honestly, that mosquito was as big as a spider. It's crazy. Spider's gonna go hungry tonight. Yeah, my bad. It's okay. I'll probably kill it tomorrow. Anyway. Let me move my wait, what's this? Oh. Just move my shelf to the side here a bit. There we go. Time to pull up the vid. Should be this. Yes. There we go. I haven't watched this channel in so long. Oh. Okay. For those that do not know, Mr. Ballin here. Usually, at least as far as I'm aware, the stories that he covers are usually true stories, which is what makes it more interesting to watch, I guess, in my opinion. So, yeah, let's see what this is about.
Today, I'm going to tell you 3 stories that all center around creatures. The first story you'll hear is sort of uplifting in a way, and then the last 2 stories are downright spooky. But before we get into those stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place because that's all we do, and we upload once a week. So if that's of interest to you, please hit the like button like it owes you money.
Spooky stuff,
Not too
yeah.
hard, because we need it
Wait.
for next week's episode.
Forgot something, hold on. Forgot something. 1 second. There we go. Wait. Okay. Yes. Ah, where did it go? Oh. Is it? Okay, we're good. Blanket acquired.
Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. Okay, let's
Copy
get
vibes.
into today's stories.
It's been so long. Larry Legend? Oh my god, it's Larry.
On the evening of December 24th, 2001, a 48-year-old businessman named Kevin Butler was in his kitchen inside
wait.
of his home in Dallas, Texas, preparing food. The following day, he was going to bring this food to a Christmas party at his friend's house. And as Kevin was preparing this food, he heard his friend Larry, who spent a lot of time at
Larry.
his house, call to him from down the hall. Now, Kevin didn't really hear what Larry wanted, but he could tell from the tone of his voice that, he wanted him to come over there right now. And so Kevin said, okay, I'll be there in a second. But then, after washing off his hands and beginning to walk down the hall to go see Larry, Kevin heard another sound that stopped him in his tracks. He heard the sound of 2 men's voices coming from outside of his house. The men sounded drunk, and they sounded like they were literally in his front yard. And also, Kevin thought he recognized the voices. And so instinctively, Kevin flew over to the door and whipped it open. And sure enough, it was Johnny Serna, one of Kevin's former employees, and Daniel Torres, who was Johnny's half-brother. These were the 2 men he thought he heard outside, and here they are. And even though Kevin was expecting to see them when he opened the door, it was like seeing them in real life was just
I better
totally
change the title.
incendiary. Kevin was immediately so mad. For several months, Kevin and Johnny had been in this very public feud over money. And in fact, Johnny at one point had even tried to steal from Kevin by forging a check. And so now Kevin looked right at Johnny and Daniel and goes, oh, what are you guys here to steal from me again? And in response, Johnny didn't say anything. He just charged forward and punched Kevin square in the face. Kevin was so stunned that he practically fell over. And then before he could do anything, Johnny and Daniel had pummeled him to the ground and were kicking and punching him. And then they dragged him further into his house and slammed the door behind him. Kevin continued to try to get away, but he just couldn't. One of the brothers was holding him down. And then before long, one of the others had gone off and come back with electrical cord, and they tied him up. And then once Kevin literally was fully bound and couldn't go anywhere,
18
the brothers
plus.
went into the kitchen, got knives,
The
came
stream,
back, and they began stabbing Kevin over
usually, I don't know.
and over again.
I say
As
I
all
usually...
this commotion was happening out.
Hold on. Give me a second, Mr. Ballin. I don't know. I would say it's definitely more leaning towards that. 18 plus, yes. Thanks for stopping by. I guess we continue.
The living room, Kevin's friend Larry, who was right down the hall, heard the whole thing. He heard the sound of, the two drunk guys coming in. He heard the sound of Kevin clearly being attacked. And at first, Larry was terrified and didn't know what to do. But as he heard the sound of Kevin screaming out for help, Larry jumped into action. And he flew down the hallway and he charged out there and he saw Daniel still on top of Kevin stabbing him.
Oh.
And Larry just went right after Daniel. Now, Larry was unarmed and really didn't stand much of a chance to begin with, but he did whatever he could to try to get Daniel off. He began biting and scratching him and doing whatever he could, but it wasn't enough. And eventually, Daniel overpowered Larry, and then before long, Johnny and
Larry
Daniel
was
were
overpowered,
not just
there's no
stabbing
way.
Kevin, but were also stabbing Larry. And so in the end, both Kevin and Larry, the two friends, were stabbed to death. And then after they were dead,
The
Johnny
fuck?
and Daniel fled the scene. But what the two half-brothers didn't know was that even though they had just killed Larry, Larry had actually just made sure those two brothers would get caught. Because when Larry tried to fight Daniel off, he had literally bit Daniel and gotten Daniel's blood on his mouth.
Ooh.
And ultimately, when the police showed up, they took the blood from Larry's mouth, and that was DNA evidence, and it led them right to Daniel. And so, Daniel and Johnny were soon arrested and charged with murder. However, they were only charged with one murder. And that's because during the attack, when Larry flew down the hall to try to protect Kevin, well, he literally flew. Because Larry was not a person. Larry was Kevin's pet cockatiel, and he was named after Larry Bird. Kevin had adopted Larry 2 years earlier, and the two had become like best friends. And so when Larry heard his best friend Kevin being attacked, he flew in to try to help. And he
My
wound up
God.
clawing and pecking at Daniel's head, ultimately getting Daniel's blood on his beak, which led to their arrest. Daniel Torres and Johnny Cerna were both ultimately convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison. What if I told you there was a boundless vault full of 1,000,000 secrets, buried mysteries, and life-changing adventures just waiting to be explored?
Fucking
A place
Larry,
where
bro.
stories lie in wait, just a tap away. Well, that place is Audible. Imagine you're stuck in rush hour
okay.
traffic, just staring at the
Yeah,
sea
yeah.
of red.
Face peelers.
At 6:30 p.m.
Oh, God.
on July 29th, 2023, a 15-year-old girl named Talia Davila Diaz stood right outside her back door of her house, staring out at the thick, dense, shadowy rainforest that was her backyard. Talia lived in a tiny, isolated village in Peru that was literally in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. So as she was looking out, she would have seen these huge tropical trees and heard the sound of howler monkeys and exotic birds and animals moving all about, and the air would have been really thick and humid. But she wasn't thinking about any of that. Instead, she was focused on this grapefruit tree that was only a few yards away from her house. She wanted to go get a grapefruit and bring it inside and make juice for her family. However, Talia was scared, and she was scared for two reasons. The first reason was this was the Amazon, an inherently dangerous place, especially at night. There were loads of predators out there, like snakes and jaguars. But the other reason she was scared was that she was worried there could actually be something worse out in the rainforest, worse than any predators she was used to. And that was because over the last couple of weeks, people in Talia's village had been claiming they were seeing these shadowy figures lurking in the tree line with these bright green eyes that would occasionally seem like they were hunting the people of the village. Like anytime they went out, it was like these figures were kind of lurking off in the distance, but nobody knew what they were. The rumor around the village was that these shadowy figures were actually pelikaras, which translates
What?
literally to face peelers. People in Talia's village believed that pelikaras were foreigners who would kidnap locals and cut their throats and peel the skin of their face off and then sell their body fat on the black market. And the locals were so freaked out that pelikaras could be around that they began performing nightly patrols to keep the villagers safe. So Talia, again, was very scared to even leave her house at this point. But she was also trying to be reasonable. I mean, she'd gone out and gotten a grapefruit many times in the past. This was
I mean,
not
if it was
some new
just
behavior.
a few feet from
So
my
she's looking
house,
out
I
and
mean,
she sees the grapefruit tree and she knows there's a nightly patrol out right now, and I only have to go a few yards and get the fruit and get
or
right
yards
back
or
to the
whatever.
house. Like, how big of a deal could this possibly be? And so after taking one
I don't
more
know
look
how
around
much a
and not
yard
seeing
is.
anybody or
I'm
hearing anything that was out of place, she took a breath and then rushed out to the tree. She grabbed a grapefruit, and as she was turning around, she froze because her worst nightmare had just been realized. Now, standing between her and her back door were these two hulking dark figures. And one of them was like so tall, it was practically the size of a tree. And they both had these piercing,
What?
glowing green eyes. And they were looking right at Talia. And Talia was so instantaneously petrified that all she could do was just stand there and stare back into their green eyes. And as she did, she began to notice that their faces were grotesquely elongated, almost like they had masks on. And then before Talia could do anything, the really tall one began sort of gliding towards her. Not stepping towards her, but literally almost hovering off the ground towards Talia. And then suddenly, Talia was being grabbed and thrown to the ground. And the instant Talia hit the ground, these two figures descended on her and pinned her there. And then one of them reached down and pressed their hand over her
I don't-
mouth and her
what-
nose.
what could-
She couldn't breathe. And then she sees the other one is holding what looked like a box cutter or a knife, and they put it right up to her neck. And suddenly it's like Talia understands these are Pelikaras. They're gonna slit her throat. They're gonna kill her. And so she has this sudden burst of energy and she manages to push them off of her. And when she did, their hand came off her mouth and she screamed out for help. And she heard somewhere in the village voices yelling back to her, and then she heard footsteps, and she knew it was the night patrol coming to save her. And so at this point, the figures released Talia, and she scrambled to her feet and immediately ran towards her house right as the night patrol came bounding into her yard, and one of the men had a gun, and he raised it and began shooting in the direction of the figures. And Talia, she's totally panicked, and she turns around, and she looks at her attackers, and she's expecting them to, be fleeing into the rainforest. But instead, these dark figures, they were like levitating in the sky, and they were looking down at Talia and the night patrol with their glowing green eyes as they literally began to levitate into the sky. And the whole time, the night patrol is firing repeatedly at these things, and they just drifted off into the night and disappeared. Talia ultimately would not suffer any physical injuries from this encounter, but mentally, she was a wreck. And frankly, so was the rest of the people in her village, especially those who were on the night patrol and with Talia witnessed these figures with green eyes flying away into the sky. I mean, the fear in this village following this encounter was through the roof. And in fact, ultimately, the Peruvian government would get involved after this encounter and they would investigate to try to figure out, what happened to Talia. And they would ultimately conclude that there was an illegal mining operation happening somewhere in the rainforest, and some of these miners, in an effort to scare people away from coming anywhere near their operation, they got their hands on jetpacks, wore armor and masks,
What?
and then went into villages like Talia's and basically pretended to be aliens and then did, fly off on their jetpacks. That is the official story as of right now. However, people like Talia and the other people in her village and many other people who live in the Amazon rainforest who have come in contact with these figures with green eyes, they say those are no miners. Those are either Pelikaras or they are creatures from another world.
Yeah, I don't know. Come on, people forgot that jetpacks don't exist yet. Yeah, I know there's like, for example, I'm aware there's those water kind of jetpacks kind of thing, but I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. I have no idea. I have no idea. Honestly, I've watched a lot of videos from this channel, and that might be the weirdest story I've ever heard. Usually stories in this are supposed to be like, real stories, and usually you can come to a conclusion of like, oh, maybe this could have happened that made these people think that it was probably this other thing. like that's very out there. But this time it's like I have no idea what could even explain that. Even the whole minor explanation is kind of crazy in itself. They're fucking minors. Why would they be doing that? Yeah. Let's see what this next one is about.
On the afternoon of May 21st, 1974, a 39-year-old man named Pilar Gomez walked through a forest in Argentina. In his hand was a machete and an axe. And as he walked, he used the machete to clear brush, and then eventually he reached this huge tree, and he put the machete down, gripped his axe, and got ready to chop it down. However, before Pilar took his first swing, he looked up and he noticed pretty high up on this tree were these very deep claw marks right into the bark of the tree. Now, at first he thought, oh, that's got to be, a bear's claw marks. But the more he looked at it, the more he realized that would have been an enormous bear to leave marks like those.
Kodiak
These
bear.
deep and wide claw marks. Now, Pilar was a professional lumberjack, and he actually lived in this section of forest. He owned this plot of the forest. His cabin was only a few yards away, and he was used to coming in contact with the wildlife, like bears. Now, his friends and family thought he was crazy for living out here. I mean, his neighbors were miles away. He didn't have a phone or a car. He lived totally alone. And so, in virtue of living in this isolated forest, Pilar routinely came across animals that lived out here, like bears. And it didn't really frighten him. He sort of understood that's part of living out here. But he knew his friends and family thought he was totally crazy for living out here. And not just because it was so isolated, not just because he didn't have a car or a phone and was totally alone basically 24/7, but because, according to local legend, this particular forest was effectively haunted.
Yeah, I guess I can understand people wanting to live very isolated, I guess, just in nature. But you should, no matter how much you want to stay away from technology and or whatever, at least you should have some way of contacting at least emergency stuff. I don't know, it just really feels like that should be the very least. It's like, something happens to you, you're dead. There's just, I mean, you're probably dead either way, even if that person can contact emergency. But there's still it's always a chance,
There were these apparent unnatural huge creatures that roamed this forest and would prey on people like Pilar. But Pilar didn't believe in any of that nonsense. He knew that, as he looked at these claw marks, this has to be a bear. This is not some huge unnatural creature that's completely made up. And so Pilar just went ahead and began cutting this tree
just a
down.
mega bear.
Right as this tree smashed into the ground, making a thundering boom, at the exact same moment, basically right behind Pilar, he heard this horrible growling noise, like a huge animal was basically coming up right behind him. And so Pilar, he whipped around and looked, but there was nothing there. It was just a wide open forest. Everywhere he looked, it was just trees, nothing else. And so Pilar began to think to himself, did I even hear that? I mean, could I really have just been hearing the sound of the tree hitting the ground that somehow also sounded like a growl behind me? Like, am I psyching myself out here? Am I creating stories in my head because I'm thinking about those claw marks? And he was like, you know what? It's all going to be in my head. I didn't hear anything. I'm all alone out here. I'm safe. I'm good. And so Pilar just got back to work processing
Might get a bit
tree.
paranoid.
For the next couple of hours, he didn't see or hear anything strange. He just continued to chop this tree into smaller pieces, and then he would carry those pieces right over to his cabin, which again was not far away, and he stacked up this huge pile of lumber right beside the side of his cabin. And then finally, when the tree was all processed and Pilar was back in his cabin, he realized he was pretty hungry. At this point, it was getting dark outside and it was time for dinner. Typically, Pilar would eat his dinner outside. He enjoyed listening to the crickets and just feeling the warm night air, and tonight was no exception. So he grabbed some stew from the night before, he went outside, and outside he had this table
kind of
that was
nice.
right next to his cabin, and then just beyond the table, farther away from the cabin, was this wood stove. And so he got the wood stove going, and then he put his stew on the stove to warm up, and then he sat down at the table, and he just sat there, enjoying the night, waiting for his food to be done. And as Pilar just sat there relaxing, he suddenly realized that he couldn't hear any crickets. They had gone completely silent. And then as he looked around at the dark forest, he realized the forest was actually silent. I mean, there was no noise whatsoever. The only noise was his stove. And Pilar knew that the only time the forest got this way was if there was some big predator around. And so right away, Pilar thought back to the claw marks in the tree and, that growling sound that he wasn't sure if he heard or not. And he's thinking, maybe the bear is back. And so Pilar scanned the tree line, trying to see movement, but there was nothing. It was just deadly silent and just a dark forest in all directions. And so feeling really unsettled, Pilar decided he should just go back inside his cabin and eat in there where it was more safe. And so Pilar stood up and he walked towards his cabin.
Good.
He was about to go
Being
inside
smart.
when he remembered he had left the stove on with the stew on top warming up. And so he turned
Right.
back around and he looked out at the dark forest and it's still totally silent. He can't see any movement. And as quick as he could, he walked past the table, out to the stove, he shut the vents in the stove, and he was about to grab the stew to go back inside with it, when something really powerful struck him in the back, knocking the wind out of him, and then before he could react, he looked down and he saw this massive furry arm with sharp claws reaching around him, pulling at his midsection. It was the bear. And so immediately Pilar began thrashing, trying to get away, and he managed to kind of stumble forward, and his machete was on the ground near the stove. And he fumbles down, he grabs the machete, and he wheels around to strike this bear to get rid of it.
How the fuck did the
second
bear
he
sneak up
saw
on
the
him like
bear,
that?
he realized it wasn't a bear. And
There's no bear.
instinctively, he knew he just had to run. And so he turned and began sprinting towards that lumber pile he had cut up before right next to his cabin. And as he was scrambling up this pile, he could hear the sound of this thing running towards him.
Oh
And then
god,
he felt
oh god,
another
I hate that.
explosion on the side of his head. And even though he now has been wounded, probably gravely, it was like all adrenaline. And he kept going up the lumber pile and he clambered onto the roof of his cabin. Then he turned around, getting ready to fight as best as he could, whatever this thing was. But when he looked out, this thing was just gone. The forest was deadly silent again and there was nothing out there. And so as
It
he's sitting there
despawned.
looking around, waiting for this thing to pop back up again, he reached up and he felt the side of his head and his ear was missing. This thing had ripped his ear off when it hit him in the side of the head. Pilar would remain on the roof of his cabin
Ow.
all night, just constantly scanning, looking for this bear creature to return. But it didn't. The forest just remained totally silent and nothing happened all night. And then finally in the morning when the sun began to come up, the forest kind of went back to normal. And at that point, Pilar is kind of delirious from blood loss and the impact to his head. And he knew he just had to get out of here and go get help. And so he climbed off the roof and then he ran about a mile to the nearest building, which was this woodworking shop. And when he got there, there were a couple of people there. And when they saw the state Pilar was in, they didn't need to be told that he needed to go to the hospital. They just instinctively put him in the car and drove him there. After Pilar was stabilized and his wound was treated and he was sort of in recovery at the hospital, the police showed up to interview him to see what happened. And Pilar would tell them the story about how, the day before he had seen those claw marks in the tree and then he had heard that loud growling sound behind him, or so he thought. And then that night, this bear had attacked him at his cabin. And he said at some point he had broken away and grabbed the machete and he turned to defend himself and he got a good look at this bear. And it was at least 6 feet tall, it was covered in black hair, had sharp claws. I mean, it was every bit a bear, except its face.
Oh.
It wasn't a bear's face. It was a human face. Now, to this point, as Pilar was telling his story, one of the police officers was taking notes. Everything Pilar said, he was writing it down.
Police just
Pilar
goes
began
like,
talking
huh?
about the bear with the human face, the officer just stopped taking notes, and the officer said, that can't be true. There aren't any bears with human faces. But Pilar, he's like a rugged lumberjack who lives in the forest by himself. And he's telling these officers, I know how crazy this sounds. I know it's not realistic, but I'm telling you what I saw is this bear with a human face. That's what I saw. But the officer just 100% did not believe him.
Right.
Ultimately, this went down as simply a bear attack, and that was it. The case was closed. However, despite what the police said, since the attack on Pilar, there have been at least 30 people who have come forward to say
30.
they either saw firsthand or were attacked by this bear-like creature with a human face in that forest in Argentina. Sightings are so
God,
common
I hate that.
locals even came up with a name for this creature. They call it the Ucumar. And to this day, nobody has any
Yeah.
idea who or what it is.
Don't like that one bit.
In case you haven't heard yet, our newest graphic novel, Mr. Ballin
Yeah.
Presents Where Nightmares Live is available for pre-order right now.
Well, that's that video. Jesus. Oh my god, you have a huge thing on your neck right there. Yeah, they don't like that. Especially when he was playing like some sounds of something running. Oh god, that is one of my biggest fears right there, is hearing something big running up behind me. Hearing something chasing you is for me one of the most terrifying things ever. Missed. Kind of wanted to check something that's more recent to make sure I haven't watched it. It's definitely been months ever since I watched this channel, so I don't know. Hold on.
In 1969,
Maybe this one. Epic manhunt ends with one man's night of terror.
Today, we're going to cover a story that sounds like a nightmare. It's about this man who's home alone when suddenly his power goes out. And as he goes to get it back on again, he realizes he's not alone. But before we get into that story, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place because that's all we do, and we upload once a week. So if that
Monster of Cell Block
On February
C.
27th, 2025, a man in his 30s named John grabbed a drink out of his fridge in his kitchen and then walked into his living room. He had just finished work, and his wife and kids were out visiting his in-laws, and so tonight he was excited to just sit on the couch and watch TV. As he sat down, he called out to his dog. There was a huge thunderstorm outside, and he knew his dog was deathly afraid of thunder, and so he expected her to come
Poor
running
doggy.
as soon as she heard her name. But after he called her, he heard nothing. But this didn't worry him, because he figured, his dog must have found a good hiding spot and had just fallen asleep there. So John turned his attention to the TV and began looking for a horror movie to watch. But as he did, he started thinking about his wife and his kids driving home that night, and he was worried about them, because of the weather. So instead of clicking on a horror movie, he turned to the local news to check on the weather. However, as soon as the local news came on, it was not the weather they were talking about, despite this being a major storm. I mean, this should have kind of dominated the news, but it wasn't.
Right.
Instead, there was a much bigger story on the news right now, and that was there was this huge riot happening at a state prison that was only 10 miles away from where John lived.
Ooh.
And apparently, the most dangerous convict at this prison had escaped. The newscasters
Want to hear a funny story real quick? I live near a prison, and last year there were 3 people that escaped from that prison. Now, if I remember correctly, they escaped right, like a little bit before we moved here. But still, when we did move here, it was very soon after they had apparently escaped. I've heard that they've all been captured again. But apparently the way they escaped was fucking dumb. Like, it's for sure they had inside help. For sure, 100%. Because apparently they just used a ladder to escape over a wall. Pretty much. That was pretty much it. Whoa. Huh? What do you mean you just used a ladder? No idea.
began to describe this convict, and they said he actually had a nickname the other prisoners had given him. They called him the Monster of Cell Block C. Now, this nickname had to do in
Just a
part
ladder.
with the fact that he was just a horrible criminal. Like, people were scared of him. And then also, the nickname came from his just totally bizarre and threatening behavior. He would routinely sit in the corner of his cell and eat insects off the ground. And then also, he kept jumping on prison guards every chance he got, which got him thrown in solitary confinement, where he just continued to eat the insects there and act totally unhinged. But perhaps the biggest reason he was dubbed
Protein.
the Monster of Cell Block C is because of his appearance. He had these crazy bulging eyes and this really thick neck. It made him look totally deformed. The anchors were telling locals to stay vigilant because the police had no idea where the monster of Cell Block C was. I mean, maybe he was still at the prison, but it did say the most
whoops.
dangerous convict at this prison had escaped. The newscasters were about to
I
put
accidentally-
a picture up of the actual inmate
There we go.
himself.
I accidentally pressed
When
the button
suddenly
that
John heard
reversed.
this huge boom of thunder outside, and then the power in his house just completely cut out, so the TV shut off. He didn't get to see what the inmate looked like. John instinctively reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone to use the flashlight feature, but his phone was dead. It had died like a couple minutes earlier, and he had told himself, I gotta plug this phone in, but he just hadn't done it yet. And now the
Man.
power's out. So he has no light source. And on top of that, John couldn't help but feel sort of rattled. I mean, he had just heard on the news that, the monster of Cell Block C has escaped 10 miles away, and now the power's out at his house in the middle of a storm, and he's all alone. But at the same time, John told himself, everything's fine. It's just a coincidence here that the power's gone out right at this moment.
Yeah, just grab a
I'm
weapon,
fine.
just to be
This state
sure.
prison, it's 10 miles away, and why would this convict have any interest coming to my house? So
To
I'm fine.
hide?
And so John stood up and began heading
Eh,
towards his
then
kitchen,
again.
where he knew he kept a flashlight.
I don't know.
But as he
Still.
got close to the kitchen, he heard a strange sound. It was an electronic ding, like a phone notification sound. But at the same time, John really couldn't quite place it. And he also knew it couldn't be his phone because his phone was dead. However, he thought maybe it's my kids' iPads. After all, the sound he was hearing, the more he listened, he could tell it was coming from upstairs, and that's where his kids' iPads were. However, the sound still seemed really weird to John because it started suddenly, basically right after the power went out. He hadn't heard it before that. And also, if these were, notification sounds on his kids' iPads, you would think there would only be maybe 1 or 2 notifications. You wouldn't have, a string of notification sounds. But as John listened, he heard like this incessant amount of dinging coming from the upstairs. And it wasn't constant. It was sort of sporadic, like random dings kind of all over the place. But then John remembered that his kids' iPads had a messaging app on it so they could talk to their parents. And John remembered that, his phone is dead. His wife could be out there driving in the storm. And so maybe she was trying to get in touch with him, couldn't because his phone was dead. And so now she was trying to message him using their kids' iPads. And so suddenly his heart rate began to pick up. He ran into the kitchen, he grabbed the flashlight, turned it
internet be
on,
out
and he
though?
ran to the base of the stairs that led up to the second floor. And as he began ascending the stairs, he's hearing that dinging sound over and over and over again. He knows it's from somewhere upstairs, and he can't help but feel totally anxious about it, like he can't place it. It kind of sounds like an iPad, but at the same time, it doesn't. He doesn't really know what it is. And so up the stairs he goes, he's scanning all around. There's no movement in the house. He still hasn't seen his dog. He gets to the top of the stairs, and in their house, there was this hallway that ran right and left from the top of the stairs. John looked to the right and shined his flashlight down there, and it was just all darkness and totally silent. The dinging was coming from the left side of the hallway. John swung the flashlight around and he shined it, and as soon as he looked down the hallway to the left side, his heart really began to race.
Oh God.
Because remember, the power is off inside of his house. So
There's a
all the
light.
lights and everything should be off. But as he was looking down the hallway, he saw there was bright light coming out from underneath his closed bedroom door. And also, that dinging sound was coming from in his bedroom. And his kids' iPads were not in there. At this point, John was terrified. But he knew he had to go in there. He had to see what was going on inside of his house. And so, very nervously, he began walking down the hallway towards the closed door. And as he's walking, the dinging sound is getting louder and louder. And with each ding from inside of his room, that light that was on inside of there would sort of pulsate. And you could see the light pulsating from underneath the
What?
door. And so John is getting more and more nervous as he's getting closer and closer to this door. And then right as he's about to touch the door and actually go inside, he hears a new sound. And it's coming from behind him. In
Oh.
fact, it's coming from downstairs. It was like this thumping sound, like something thick and meaty was like hitting the wooden floors over and over again. John's
It's
first
Larry's
thought was,
big dog.
maybe he left a window open downstairs, and that was just the sound of the rain coming in. But as he's listening to this thumping sound that's getting louder
Is it the
and
dog?
closer to him, making its way towards the stairs, he's thinking, that can't possibly be the rain. That does not make any sense. So he thought, oh, it's got to be my dog. And so he called out to his dog again, this time much more urgently. Frankly, he wanted the comfort at this point. But the dog didn't come, and that thumping sound continued. and it began to go up the stairs. At this point, John knew
Wait.
he needs to go over and see who is now coming up the
Hide.
stairs. He has to go look. But he's paralyzed with fear. You know, he's in the middle of this huge storm, the power's out, he has no idea what's going on with his wife and his kids, there's this escaped convict down the road, he has all these strange noises in his house, and so he just stands there completely unsure what to do. And then finally, as this thumping sound is right about to crest the stairs and be in the hallway, whatever or whoever it was, John turned and just threw open his door, figuring, you know what, at least if I go in my bedroom, I can shut the door and create space
Right.
between me and whoever this is. But the second he charged into his bedroom, holding the flashlight over his head like a baseball bat, you know, to confront whatever was in there, he just froze, because what he saw in front of him was horrifying. To understand
God.
what John saw and why it was so bad, you have to know that overall, John was a pretty nice guy. You know, he was a good father, a good husband, he gave to charity, he took in stray animals. You know, he was the kind of guy who would, you know, if you drop money out on the street, he'd pick it up and give it back to you. You know, he's a good guy. But there was one aspect of his life where John wasn't so nice. In fact, you could make the case that he was sort of a monster himself.
Oh.
John, in one very specific way, was sort of a bully. Every day for the last
Okay.
5 years, John had been personally bullying and torturing this one victim online, and then also riling up other people to do the same thing. And so on this night, when he flew into his bedroom to escape whatever else was going on in his house, what he saw in his bedroom that was so awful was his victim. And he knew
What?
for sure that his victim was here for revenge. John's victim turned attacker was standing right there in the middle of his bedroom, clutching John's dog in their fist, like they were about to squeeze the life out of her. And at the same time, the loud thumping sound that John had run away from into this room that was coming up the stairs, well, John heard it thump against the door to the bedroom. And so John realized that must be another attacker. There's two of them, and now I'm gonna die. And so instinctively, John whipped around and just stared at this door, you know, getting ready for whoever this was to enter the room. And as the door began to swing open, John closed his eyes and put his hands up around his head, you know, bracing for impact. And he's standing there literally waiting to die, but nothing happens. And after a few seconds, John, he opens his eyes and he looks around and he smiles. It would turn out the monster of Cell Block C really had escaped from that state prison during that riot. And after they got out, they went to John's house. But the monster of Cell Block C was not a dangerous, horrible criminal,
The
at least
friend
not
of
to John.
this?
In fact, the monster of Cell Block C was one of John's oldest friends.
Of course.
And he had broken out of prison for one reason: to save John and his dog. Immediately after entering the bedroom,
How would he
the
know?
monster of Cell Block C leapt onto the attacker
All
who
right,
was
this
holding
is-
John's dog hostage and managed to free the dog. The dog ran to safety, and then the monster of Cell Block C basically wrestled the attacker onto the ground and restrained them. And as they did this, John, who's sort of standing off to the side, is so relieved, but also he was suddenly inspired. And he had this idea that not only would defeat his attacker for good, but also would keep his friend, the monster of Cell Block C, from going back to prison. John turned and ran out of the bedroom and went into one of his kids' rooms where he grabbed a frog stuffed animal. He ripped the head off, and then he went back into his own bedroom and superglued the frog head onto the top of his attacker. John's attacker,
What?
the one he had bullied for so many years, who had come back for revenge, who was in his bedroom emitting pulsing lights and making dinging sounds and grabbed John's dog by their fist and held them hostage, was none other than the like button. John was actually John Allen, aka me, Mr. Ballin. And with that frog head superglued on top of the like button, now they looked a whole lot like the monster of Cell Block C, which of course was my best friend, Seagull Lung. And so when the police showed up a short time later,
Wait, was this posted on April 1st? It was. For fuck's sake.
they carted away the like button because they looked like the monster of Cell Block C. To this day, the like
Man.
button is still serving out old Lungy's prison sentence. And as for old Seagull Lung, he's somewhere on a beach in Mexico. And now that this story is over, I can finally say, April Fools.
Real photo of Lunky.
With Lungy now safe on a beach and the like button serving Lungy's prison sentence, I think it's safe to say that if you come after one of us, you face the wrath of both of us.
Oh.
So I have one thing to say to the like button, and that's, don't touch my frog. And so to celebrate that sentiment, and to celebrate April Fool's Day, we have an exclusive and limited merch drop. We have
Man. Yeah, I was thinking, like, Brett, what is even going on in this story right now? It's... Oh my god. Okay, let me just check. My god, I've already been streaming for almost 3 hours and a half. Jesus. Okay, guess we can watch one more. And then I'm gonna be done with it.
Today's story is about a chance encounter between two men in Canada. Now, at first, these two men hit it off and became fast friends. But as time wore on, it became very clear that both men were keeping secrets from the other. And eventually, those secrets were exposed. But before we get into that story, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place.
Yeah,
Because
shush.
that's all we do. In late 2003, a 22-year-old man named Michael.
Okay.
One evening in late 2003, a 22-year-old man named Michael Bridges sat down in the stands of a professional hockey game in Calgary, which is a major city in Canada. And as he sat there staring out at the rink, waiting for the players to file in, he thought to himself how amazing it was that he was here right now. He couldn't believe how lucky he was to be here. So Michael lived about 700 miles away in a city called Brandon, which is also in Canada. And for the last year, Michael's life had gone really badly. He was struggling financially and in between jobs. He had gone through a recent terrible breakup. A lot of his friends had sort of vanished from his life. And so for the most part, he was sort of sad and lonely all the time. But then he'd won a sweepstakes that he had only entered on a whim and gotten an all expenses paid trip to Calgary for this hockey game. And so it felt like finally something good was happening in his life. Michael was about to flag down a vendor and order himself a beer when this guy he didn't know, this stocky guy with a mustache, walked in and sat down right next to Michael. And before Michael could say anything, this guy looked at him with a big smile on his face and he said, "Man, I'm so excited to be here. I won this ticket in a sweepstakes." And Michael was like, "Dude, me too." And so right away, these total strangers just totally hit it off. And before long, they were chatting about their lives. And, Michael, who over the last year, most of his friends had sort of disappeared in his life, it was great to have a guy that just seemed to get him. And so the time flew by. And Brock must have felt the same way about Michael, because as the hockey game ended, Brock asked Michael if he wanted to, keep the party going and go together to a strip club right down the road. And Michael was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And so the two new friends left the hockey game together, they went to the strip club, and as soon as they got there, Michael began to notice something odd about Brock, or at least something he hadn't noticed before. And that was that even though Brock appeared to be very blue collar, sort of like Michael was, Brock appeared to have a lot of money. I mean, he was leaving these huge tips for all the bartenders, and he was paying for he and Michael's drinks round after round. Brock was paying for all of it.
Oh boy.
And then also, Brock had this huge wad of ones and bills that he was basically throwing at all the dancers. And Michael, who was caught off guard by this, gladly accepted Brock's generosity. I mean, at this point, given Michael's financial struggles, he could not have afforded even a normal night out, let alone a lavish one like this. And so as the two men stood at the bar towards the end of the night, Michael thanked Brock for making this such a fun night, and he said he really didn't want to leave and go back to his hometown of Brandon, 700 miles away, because he was having so much fun here with Brock. But when he said Brandon, Brock stopped and he's like, "Wait a minute, Brandon? I'm moving to Brandon for work." And when Michael heard this, he was ecstatic. I mean, he was thinking this was going to be a one-off thing, that he would likely never see Brock again, despite how cool this guy was.
Oh, damn.
But now it seemed entirely possible that if they were living in the same town, they could be actual friends. And so Brock told Michael that, "Hey, if you help me find an apartment in your hometown once I move there, maybe I can repay the favor by helping you get some work." And so Michael, he took one last look at that big wad of cash in Brock's hand, and he looked up at him and he said, "Deal." A couple of months later, in early December of 2003, Michael rode in the passenger seat of Brock's car as they made their way down a road in Brandon. The two had just had lunch together, and Brock was driving Michael home when suddenly Brock's phone rang. And when Brock answered it, Michael could tell right away, just from the tone of Brock's voice, that he was speaking to his boss. So ever since that hockey game, Michael and Brock had become friends. Brock had moved to Brandon, and Michael had helped him find an apartment, and in exchange, Brock had made good on his promise and had helped Michael find some work. In fact, he had gotten him a few odd jobs with the company that he, Brock, worked for. However, these jobs were not what Michael expected them to be, based on, his first impression of Brock. In reality, he felt like these jobs were kind of shady. Brock had asked Michael to start delivering these packages all over town, but he warned Michael to never look inside of any of these packages. Now, at first, obviously, Michael had been very unsure about taking Brock up on these jobs. I mean, it was pretty clear that whatever Brock was doing was, questionable or maybe even illegal. Like, what's going on with these packages? But, Michael thought back to that huge wad of cash that Brock had at the strip club in Calgary, and it just seemed like he was throwing money around, and Michael wanted money like that too. And so he thought, what's the harm? And so ultimately, Michael agreed to deliver one of these packages, and when nothing bad happened, he began delivering more. Now, Michael still had no idea what he was actually delivering. He had heeded the warning and was not looking inside these packages. Instead, he had sort of accepted the shadowy, mysterious stuff that Brock was doing was just sort of part of being friends with Brock and working for Brock.
Right.
And so he had just gone along with it. And also, Michael genuinely needed the money. He really couldn't afford to just stop working. So as the two men continued down this road in Brandon, Michael just continued to sit quietly in the passenger seat while he listened to Brock speak to his boss. And at some point in this conversation, Brock looked very resigned and just said, "Okay, I'll take care of it right now." Then Brock abruptly hung up, and without saying anything to Michael, he just pulled a U-turn and began speeding in the opposite direction. And then a couple of minutes later, Brock pulled into this parking lot of the seedy hotel, and then before Michael could ask, what are we doing here? Brock turned to him and said, "You stay here." And then Brock got out of the car, and he marched over to the door of this motel and began to knock. And Michael, he's in the car watching this, having no idea what's going on, and he sees the motel room door that Brock knocked on. It suddenly opened, and there was this woman who was inside the motel. And from Michael's perspective, it seemed like she was very startled to see Brock. And then she began trying to shut the door on Brock. But Brock, he reached out and he began pushing on the door to keep it open, and the two of them began yelling at each other. And Michael, he can't hear what they're yelling about, but clearly, they're having some sort of heated argument here. And at this point, Michael began looking around, hopeful that nobody was witnessing this. I mean, they could get in some serious trouble here. And then Michael turned his attention back to Brock and this woman, and he watched as Brock raised his fist and punched this woman square in the face. Ooh. And she instantly crumpled to the ground, and Michael, he has no idea what to do here. And so he just sat there as Brock climbed on top of this woman who's laying on the ground, and he began repeatedly punching her over and over again until Michael could see blood all over her face. And then Brock, who seemed totally unfazed, slammed the motel room door and calmly walked back to the car, hopped in the driver's seat, and drove off without saying anything to Michael. And Michael just sat quietly for this ride. He really had no idea what to even say. Now, he already knew that Brock must be involved in some sort of criminal enterprise, and in virtue of Michael delivering those packages for him, he was also involved in whatever this organization did. But up until this point, up until seeing this beating take place, Michael had sort of assumed that whatever Brock was involved in couldn't be that big of a deal. I mean, certainly they weren't hurting people. But now, Michael realized he had been terribly wrong. Finally, Brock pulled up in front of Michael's house, and for the first time he spoke. He turned to Michael and he said, "Don't tell anyone what you saw." And Michael just nodded his head and said, "Yeah, I won't." And then Michael got out of the car and he rushed inside his house.
Damn.
Thank you to Rocket Money for sponsoring today's video. I found out last week at his home when his phone rang, and when he looked at the caller. About a week later, Michael was at his home when his phone rang. And when
it was
he
a
looked at the
cycle.
caller ID, he saw it was Brock. And at
It was a
first,
little silly.
Michael couldn't help but feel like he didn't want to pick up the call, but he knew he would have to. Despite what had happened the previous week at the motel, Michael had not said anything to anyone. However, being loyal to Brock did not make him feel any better about it. In reality, Michael felt like at this point, he was in too deep with Brock, and he had no idea how to get out again, even though at this point he kind of wanted to. But for now, Michael had made the conscious decision to simply act like everything is the same, everything is normal, so he didn't raise any red flags with Brock. And so he ultimately picked up the phone. Brock didn't say hello or ask Michael how he was doing. Instead, he just told Michael that he had another delivery for him if Michael was still committed to this job. Now, Michael knew the right answer here would be to turn this down and not continue to go down this rabbit hole and get deeper and deeper in with Brock. But at the same time, Michael was worried if he refused this job that he might be put in danger. Like, he saw what Brock was capable of. Is that going to happen to him if he turns this down? And then on top of that, Michael needed the money. And so after a tense silence, Michael told Brock that yes, I'm still committed and I will do this delivery. Brock said that was very good. And he also told Michael that he and the boss were very impressed with Michael's silence. And then Brock hung up. Now, Michael did appreciate the compliment, but at the same time, it really did not change his situation at all. I mean, he was still in way too deep here and didn't know what he was going to do. And so reluctantly, he grabbed his keys and headed out to his car to go pick up this next package. 2 months later, in early February of 2004, Michael and Brock sat inside of a diner in Brandon eating a meal together. Things at this point had basically gone back to normal. Michael was regularly delivering packages for Brock, and the two of them were meeting for meals like this fairly often, where Brock would always foot the bill. But today, as Michael sat there staring at Brock, he could tell something was different. Brock seemed really agitated, like something was on his mind. He kept tapping his hand and kind of fidgeting in his seat. And eventually, Michael asked Brock, like, hey, are you okay? And to Michael's surprise, Brock kind of lit up. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm okay. In fact, things are more than okay. I actually have an offer for you that could potentially change your life. Brock again told Michael that he and the boss were seriously impressed with Michael's work so far. Not just the fact that he kept silent about the motel incident, but also they knew Michael clearly had not looked inside of any of those packages. And so collectively, this proved that Michael was dependable and loyal. And so he told Michael that what he wanted to do was introduce Michael to the boss, because he thought maybe the boss would take a liking to Michael and move him up in the organization. Maybe give him a more managerial role like Brock's, where the role was more prestigious and had more responsibility, but critically came with higher pay. After hearing this, Michael felt both excited and nervous. He was excited because he wanted nothing more than to make the kind of money that Brock did. And after working with Brock now for several months, Michael had become kind of desensitized to violence and danger. He realized he could put his morals aside if it meant he would never have to be financially insecure ever again. But the thing that made Michael nervous was meeting the boss. I mean, he really didn't know much about who this guy was. All he knew is he was perfectly prepared to resort to violence if people wronged him. And so Michael knew how critical it was to stay on this guy's good side. But as all these conflicting thoughts were swirling around Michael's head, Brock said something else. He said before he would actually take Michael to meet the boss, Michael had to pass one more test. Michael would have to prove that he was capable of more than simply delivering packages and keeping secrets. Basically, he needed to prove that he could be as cutthroat and brutal as Brock was. After saying this, Brock just kind of leaned back and stared at Michael, studying his reaction. And at first, Michael really didn't even know what to say or do. He was like, okay, is Brock expecting me to come up with, some sort of way that I can demonstrate this? Do I need to come up with a test myself and do it? Or is Brock about to give me some assignment? Like, what's going on here? But then, before Brock could say anything else to clarify this whole situation, Michael had this epiphany. He suddenly realized that he already had the proof he needed to demonstrate to Brock and to the boss that he could basically handle anything they threw at him. Before meeting Brock, something truly awful and just totally messed up happened in Michael's life, and Michael had persevered his way through it. And so Michael was thinking to himself, if he just told the story of what happened to Brock and to the boss, they would be convinced that he was their guy. And so feeling very confident, Michael looked Brock right in the eye and he told him about his past. And as he told the story, Brock's eyes went wide. And by the end of the story, when Michael finally finished up, Brock just said, okay, yeah, you're ready to meet the boss. The meeting with the boss was scheduled for a few days later. And on that day, Michael showed up to this fancy hotel in Riverside City. When he walked into the lobby, he saw Brock was sitting there waiting for him. When Brock saw Michael, he smiled and stood up, gestured for Michael to come over, and then the two of them walked upstairs to a particular hotel room. But when Brock unlocked the hotel room door and the two men went inside this lavish suite with this gorgeous living room and an amazing view, Michael looked around and realized it was empty. And he said to Brock, like, "Where's the boss?" And Brock said, "The boss doesn't wait for anyone. People wait for the boss. And so just sit down,
Oh,
he'll
okay.
be here soon." And so Michael said okay, and he took a seat and tried to stay calm. But in reality, he was very nervous. I mean, all this cloak and dagger stuff was really putting him on edge. He also knew he had to impress the boss when he got here, because if he did, he would have like this new lease on life, this big promotion, he'd be getting paid so much money. But if he didn't, if he failed to impress the boss, not only would he potentially be out of a job and back to sort of poverty, but also he could be in real danger here. And so as Michael is sitting there
Yeah.
showing all the signs that he's totally nervous, Brock, who was in the room just kind of standing there, looked over and could sense, his friend clearly is on edge. And so he said, "Hey, Michael, here we go. Why don't you just run me through your story one more time, like a dry run, before you meet the boss. Get yourself ready." And so Michael, who at this point was so anxious, he was happy to be doing anything other than just sitting there quietly, quickly agreed to the idea and went through his story one more time. And right as he finished his story, there was a knock on the door. And so Brock said, "Okay, he's here. Are you ready?" And Michael's like, "Yeah, I'm ready." And so Brock walked
Oh,
over
boy.
to the door, took one more look at Michael, opened it up, and when Michael looked outside and saw who was out there, he knew immediately he had made a terrible mistake.
Oh,
It
boy.
would turn out the last several months of Michael's life was one big lie. That sweepstakes that Michael had won that got him the tickets to the game in Calgary, that wasn't real. Somebody had set that up just so Michael could
Come
meet
on.
Brock. Those packages that Michael was delivering for Brock, they were not sensitive. It was just packages that contained flour, like cooking flour. And that woman that Michael watched Brock beat up at the motel, she was acting, and so was
wait.
Brock. Nobody got hurt in that entire altercation, and the blood that Michael saw on her face, well, she had
Secret
blood
agents.
capsules hidden in her mouth that she popped to make it look like she actually got beat up.
No way.
However, there was one thing that was absolutely true about the last few months of Michael's life, and that was that Brock really was involved in a secretive organization, and Brock really
Fucking
did want to bring
FBI or
Michael
something.
inside of it. It's just that the organization was not the criminal enterprise that Michael thought it was. Instead, it was the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. And Brock was an undercover officer
Life of
running
fake
an
crime.
elaborate sting designed entirely to get Michael to confess to his crimes, which he did while secret cameras inside of that hotel room recorded every single word he said. Michael's crime was murder. 2 years earlier, his girlfriend, Erin Chorney, had tried to break up with him, and he'd been so mad about it that he attacked her, wound up strangling her until she fell unconscious, and then he drowned her in the bathtub. And so this was the
Damn.
story he told Brock and intended to tell the boss to convince them that he was their guy, that he was tough and could do anything they wanted. He basically was telling them, "Hey guys, I'm literally a murderer." And so when they heard that knock on the door in the hotel room and Michael turned, expecting it to be the boss, well, instead, he saw a whole bunch of police officers coming into the hotel room to arrest him for that
Look
murder.
at his face. He's like, "What the fuck? Come on, man. I trusted you, bro." Face of absolute disbelief.
confessed to. Erin's body was ultimately recovered from the dump site where Michael had left her, and she was given a proper burial. As for
God
Michael,
damn.
he was convicted of her murder and sentenced to life in prison.
Oof. Alright.
Thank you so much for watching.
It's a
Let me
nice
know what you thought
twist.
of today's episode in the comments. And remember, we have hundreds of videos for you to binge right now. But if you're looking for a recommendation from me of that one video that's worth your time,
Very nice, very nice. Okay, it is almost 2 a.m. I'm a bit tired. Yeah, I'ma just, eat. I'm end it here. Oof. Just play this to end it. Very nice. No problem. Thank you for hanging out and for watching along. Okay, I'm gonna go then. Remember, drink your waters and eat your. God, I can barely talk. Lock in. Okay. Stay hydrated. Eat your foods. Don't forget to eat. All right. And sleep. Sleep enough hours, not just a couple hours. Enough hours. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go. Bye bye. Until the next one.